Genders of the Railroad, Part 6, Trees, Trains, and Too Many Cars. Things were going well on the railway while the trains were getting their work done by pulling freight and passengers all afternoon from AM to PM. Mr. Cakester had a warning for the engines. A section of track near Killabin has buckled in the hot sun, he said, so I'd like you all to take super extra careful caution. We'd love to, sir, puffed Twee. Good idea, said Becky. James laughed. Thomas once derailed on a buckled track near farm fields, he said. Well, sometimes freight cars have hazardous materials in them, Percy said, and that could be very dangerous, and it could derail freight cars. That's exactly right, said Toby. That could bash my buffers real hard. Dwee soon shunted the gondola car into place, ready for Sasha's train, but Sasha was in a rush to get it. You must go off now, Dwee, Sasha said. Freight cars, these cars are not for you. They're for big women engines, and women locomotives shouldn't hang around. That's not a friendly thing to say, Sasha, Dwee said crossly, and she puffed away. She was annoyed. Sasha soon buffered up to the freight cars and was ready to go. Be ready to go, said Thomas. And Sasha steamed out of the yard. I'm collecting a palm train today, puffed Thomas. But Sasha didn't hear Thomas. She was feeling pleased with herself. I must get going, she said. Cars and trucks were waiting for the freight cars to go by. And Sasha steamed into the mountains. Whoopee, she said. Freight train coming through. Just then, a random woman train was coming from New London, Connecticut. It had 8 engines, and Sasha became suspicious about it. I'm not allowed to ask random people their names. But the freight train didn't hear Sasha. They were just feeling pleased with themselves as they were pulling all the freight cars they had behind them. That's even longer than my train, said Sasha. Then there was trouble. The freight cars of heavy weight pushed the whole weight down the hill, and the train went faster and faster. Faster, faster, laughed the trucks. A palm train is better than a palm tree, said Sasha as she sped down the hill. But I can't stop with all 211 cars. They rolled along, and Sasha was out of control. I should stop, she cried. Slow down, Sasha, Percy said. That's way too many cars. But Sasha was going faster and faster, and the weight was heavy. The Amtrak Tropical Limited was on its way to Miami, and it sped by. You must slow down, called the crew member. Percy was shunting freight cars of candy for the children's party when he was oblivious to what was happening on the crossing. "There's a tank truck on the line!" cried Sasha. "I should stop!" Her driver threw on the emergency brakes, and her wheels skidded along the line. But it was far too late to stop in a safe way. The train flew off the line really fast, and the fire went flying, and it started to rage, and it was catastrophic. And then Kiona was surprised to see something ahead. "I should stop too!" She applied her brakes, knowing to avoid a crash, but she hit the boxcar like a croquet hammer and skidded off the line. Everything soon came to a stop, with some freight cars derailed and some freight cars not derailed. Sasha had flipped onto her side, covered in oil and jelly. "I don't like being covered in chocolate," Percy said sadly. Mr. Cakester walked up. "I'm not cross with you, Sasha," said Mr. Cakester. "I'm just worried about you." "Don't worry, sir," Sasha said. "Well, you can be repaired tonight until you can start a new day tomorrow," Mr. Cakester said. "Yes, sir," Sasha said. She was upset. That night, a raging thunderstorm rolled in. Thunder and lightning crashed, and thunder crashed. "Listen to the thunder, Vanessa," Sandy said. "Isn't it wonderful?" "It is," said Vanessa. But Sasha was having trouble sleeping. Then she had a nightmare. "I'm the nightmare engine, and my name is Deedus." But then she noticed some tank cars in front of her. "They're gonna move with no engine." And then she biffed the troublesome trucks really hard in the snow. And then she pushed them right into the front of Sasha. "My gosh!" she said. "It was too late." "Oh no!" she cried. To be continued.